Good evening, everyone. We're going to start this evening with our invocation. Mr. Dan Scheidel from the United Way is going to lead us in that. Thank you.
Please join me. I got this on. Yep. Okay. Please join me in this prayer. Imagine how different our lives would be if we never learned to read, write, or understand numbers. For millions of people in the developing world, this is their reality, and their lack of education significantly impacts the ability to step out of poverty. So we lift them up in prayer as we thank God for our parents, our schools, the teachers, administrators, and concerned citizens who care and pray for the children and try to create a positive environment as they grow up in our community and in the school system. We pray that the children will gain the education, wisdom, and discernment they need to reach the fullness of life God intends for each of them. Holy Spirit, and we just pray for you to be with our teachers who are responsible for our children's education. Put your righteousness in their hearts and your words on their lips to share with the children in their daily care. May our classrooms not only fill students with knowledge, but also social and emotional intelligence, compassion, and truth. Bless the board, our superintendent, all who are here this evening, and that you may guide them with your Spirit and bless the work of their hands. We just pray this in your precious holy name, Lord Jesus. Amen.
Thank you, Dan. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. And with that, we will call the meeting to order with all board members present, excluding Matt Sampson, Frank Nelson, and Colonel Miller.
Dan, you didn't want to stay for the entirety of the meeting?
I would, but my wife's got something to read.
Okay. Just checking. Okay.
And we will move into presentations. Mrs. Johnson?
Our spotlight student this evening is from Hoover Elementary School, and Miss Sarah Garris, his teacher, is going to introduce him.
That's for him, not you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to Orion Keese. Orion is a first grader in my class at Hoover Elementary. His parents are Kendra Lingendorf and John Keese. His school activities include our after-school STEAM program, where he is about to begin his second year as a member, and his favorite subjects in school are math and science. Outside of school, Orion likes to stay incredibly busy with expanding his scientific mind through hands-on science experiments and robotics, feeding his artistic side with painting and coloring, and exercising his athleticism through playing at the park and practicing his basketball skills as his season is starting at the Y soon. Orion is also a young entomologist and arachnologist. He enjoys looking for different insects and spiders and can tell you facts about pretty much any spider species. Orion is a kind-hearted student that demonstrates integrity, compassion, and leadership as a Hoover Hornet every single day.
All right.
Please stand. Salute pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you guys would like to get a picture, come on down. All right, a few more. All right, hang on, I got one more. Is that it? All right, good job. Let's give him a hand, please.
And our next spotlight student is from Enid High School, and Mr. Craig Liddell is going to introduce him.
Good evening, Dr. Floyd, board members, everyone in attendance this evening. I've got a couple of students, and first of all, for a spotlight student is Luke Rao. Luke is the son of Shelley Millsap and Jody Rao. And I'm going to brag on Luke a little bit and then turn the mic over to him to say a couple of words. Luke is a captain on our Plainsman football team. He has rushed for over 1,000 yards so far this season, 7 games in. And when you look at the strength of schedule, a couple of the top teams in the nation on there, and it's very stout. He's an absolute stud. Coming from people in the athletic department, legitimately, arguably, maybe but definitely one of the pound for pound strongest athletes that we've got in our programs, and you can see it when he plays. For me, I don't know too much about this other football, but for watching a guy compete is fantastic, and I'm there every chance I get, home or away, cheering him on, and it's really neat because Luke's super humble. He's a leader, but he's a quiet leader, but he's a strong leader as well, and I think the guys kind of rally behind him, and he keeps the team going in the right direction. So absolute stud there. He's also a varsity letterman in track, National Society of High School Scholars, NSHSS. He's a member of that, and he's got a strong academic background as well. He is set where he's taken a concurrent course each semester since he hit his junior year, so he'll have chipped away for sure at a full, at least a semester's worth of college by the time he graduates with us. And I'm going to let him tell you at least some of the opportunities that he's got so far. So, Luke, I turn it over to you, young man.
Hi, my name is Luke Rao. Thank you for having me here. Thank you, Liddell, for choosing me. I just recently received my first Division I offer to play for football from Drake University in Des Moines, Iowa, so I'm super thankful for that. And also, as he said, I take concurrent classes, and when I first took them, I did think they were going to be a bit challenging, but just working hard, and also my counselors helped me out with my schedule, so I want to thank them for that. And Enid has given me a lot of opportunities, not only in sports, but also in academics. So I just want to thank them for that.
Well, congratulations on the Drake offer, and I bet that won't be the last one that you get. And I know you'll make us proud. Congratulations on a good season. Let's give him a hand, please. All right, come on down and get a few pictures. Thank you, Luke, and good luck to you.
And Mr. Liddell has the privilege of introducing our next recognition, who we should all be very, very proud of.
So our next recognition is a semi-finalist for the National Merit Scholarship. It's a huge deal, and Elsa Stewart. Elsa is the daughter of Marianne and Lieutenant Colonel Chad Stewart. Elsa is one of the most humble students I've ever met. I feel that she's very personable. She's highly intelligent. I'm going to kind of start throwing some things at you, and then she can kind of speak, but she said she will speak very briefly. And but I actually have, and you're all welcome to come view this in person, but in my office above the watering corner door, there's a hand-drawn picture of Enid High School, and that was by Miss Elsa Stewart, and it is fantastic. My wife, as if we had much money, but my wife was trying to commission Elsa to sketch up each of the houses that we've owned in Enid. And we said there's only one person we want to draw that, and so we're making that deal.
Cool.
I tie all that in because it kind of takes us to where we're going to go. Super intelligent, 11 AP classes she'll have taken, including current time OSSM. She is taking concurrent comp, so she's chipping away at that, but she's really going the AP pathway. From there, she's also a student athlete, and she also takes advantage of our EHS Works program, works at Envirotech, so does time there as well. So very well covered as far as all areas, and does it with just the most humble spirit. She's very personable as well, on the quiet side, but just a fantastic young lady with the brightest of futures. And what you've earned with your academics and what you put forth, I'm really a believer that you will be a finalist, and it's going to be awesome. So very proud of you, Miss Elsa. Would you like to have a quick word to the board?
Like a very quick word. I didn't come very prepared. But I just want to say that I've been given a lot of really, really good opportunities in Enid, Autry, NOC. It's all been really good, and the teachers, everybody who's helped me along the way. So I definitely wouldn't be here without all of that. So I'm really appreciative. So thank you.
Well, also, it's a great honor for you to make the National Merit semifinalist list, and we wish you the very best the rest of the way in the competition. And if you make the finalist list, well, we may have you back up here. But all of that is good for you and good for college as well. So congratulations. Let's give her a hand, please.
Those are definitely always the fun moments. Proud of our kids. This moves us to item 2, audience to visitors. We had done. Takes us straight to item 3, the superintendent's report. Dr. Floyd.
Give me that one, and I'll stick it with my stuff. Thank you.
There you go.
All right. Thank you, Tori. First up, we are starting this month with our strategic plan committee chair reports, and the first committee is facilities, and we'll start each October with those, and the chairpersons of that committee are myself and Dr. Robinson and Mr. Garrison, and Dr. Robinson has put together a PowerPoint presentation for us. We're going to show it up on the screen, but board members, you also have a hard copy of that PowerPoint there at your place as strategic plan facilities. Dr. Robinson?
All right, this is going to hopefully be pretty short and brief, but if you have any questions as we're going along, please don't hesitate to ask. Again, this is just our strategic plan statement. Kind of start off here with a couple of things that we have project-wise. The first one that you see is the courtyard, and this is actually the courtyard at Monroe, and this is just an example of what happens when a teacher kind of takes initiative. This is their garden at Monroe, and what we're doing with courtyards at other campuses in the courtyard just adjacent to this is over the next year to 2 years, we're going to look at actually putting turf in those and turning those into our pre-K. There already are pre-K kindergarten playgrounds, but put them where they're all-weather playgrounds, not just when it's nice outside. Also, at Monroe and at Hoover, there are giant trees growing inside those courtyards right now. We just had one of those removed over fall break. The other one's going to go over Thanksgiving, so that's kind of why that's a process rather than just happening overnight. The next picture you see there, we're just going to go from left to right across the top. The next picture we have there is the picture of Enid High School parking lot. You can't really see it too well in the PowerPoint, but you can see it on yours. We actually painted a football field on that. I guess it was late summer when we actually painted it. And this way the band has a place to practice in all weather conditions on concrete. This was at a request of Mr. Everett, but again, another project we made it happen pretty quick, and it's definitely a benefit to students, as you can see. Next picture is of Emerson. This is a project that I showed you guys last year, the old sidewalk that was about 4 feet across there. We've added this sidewalk. It's about an 8 to 10 foot sidewalk. Added the grass in the middle, did a sprinkler system. But the reason I'm really highlighting this is not only is this a project we did last year, it came to completion, it's a project that's still in the works. You can see all that rough grass coming out of the building, going down towards where it says existing facilities. This is a project that we're working with the city on to actually add a pull-out lane for student drop-off at Emerson. And so there's about a 18, 20-inch drop from the building to the street. So we're going to let the city do their part, and then we're going to come back in and finish that project at Emerson to beautify with grass and landscaping the front of that school. But I really want to highlight that because a lot of things we don't do just on our own. We do that in partnership with the city or other entities as well.
So just for the board's benefit, originally the city was talking about redoing that road in front of Emerson over Christmas. Is that still on go, or have they backed that up?
As far as I know, it's still on go for Christmas, and hopefully, I'm hoping to see completion by the end of the school year. But they're willing to work around us, so there shouldn't be any issues with Emerson as far as getting students in or out of the building. So, all right, the bottom left picture, that is the Prairie View Playground. Again, this is kind of a collaborative effort at Prairie View with their existing activity funds and Enid Public School general funds. Enid Public Schools added the swing set that you see in the background, added the sidewalk to access that swing set. Then Ms. Hendry at Prairie View used campus activity funds that students had earned, and she added to that playground with those fundraised funds to make that playground even bigger. Another reason I'm showcasing this one, this is the one playground we have in the district that is not fenced. It will be fenced hopefully here in about the next 3 or 4 weeks. Just met with the fencing guy, and that's also part of our daycare expansion that we're looking at doing at Prairie View. So another reason to highlight that is just some of that work that's been done. Next picture to the right of that is the Prairie View playground. Last year when I presented to you guys, we were talking about turfing playgrounds. This is actually the finished project of that being turfed. There we are adding an additional sidewalk in the front there. We are also going to turf between the sidewalk and that playground for the expansion of the daycare. So they'll have a smaller turfed in playground at that site as well. Bottom picture on the right, I don't know if anybody recognizes this, but this is actually the north side of Longfellow. It used to be full of trees. It had a bad drive back there that was kind of gravel, dirt, kind of a hodgepodge, a mess. Now it looks, I'm going to say this, I actually had 3 people comment to me that they went out there and they cut holes in it so we could play golf on the north side of Longfellow because the grass does look that good. We put a sprinkler system in, sodded it, concreted it, really made it have the same look as the south side of Longfellow, which you guys are probably more familiar with than this side. But all sides of the school deserve to be beautified.
Yep, significant improvement there.
All right, going on to the next slide. This is kind of projects that we're in the works on and looking at doing this year and going forward. Picture on the top left, you might think this is pretty insignificant. It's door locks and a camera system. We are expanding door locks on all of our campuses. This is not a fast happening process because of supply chain issues and getting the work done. But as part of our secure campus initiative, we're looking at putting automatic locks basically on all of our secure vestibules. So not only are they secure when they're locked, but in the morning, those doors have to be dogged open. And so if a principal or a custodian or somebody doesn't get there at 8:15 to lock them back, then the school is essentially left open. With this system, if we put these electronic locks in, that system can be set up that at 8 o'clock, those doors automatically lock themselves, and there's not the human error factor is taken away. So that's why I'm showing that picture, because that's the plan to do at all the campuses. There are a couple of campuses that require complete door changeouts, which that's going to be a little more involved, and that actually might happen later in the spring into next school year. But there's only really 2 or 3 campuses that requires. The middle picture there, this is the alleyway between the Bouvinger building and Enid High. If you haven't been by there, we have fenced that area in with 8-foot fencing because students have to pass between there, and we can't keep those doors locked while you have students passing or while they're in the building. So we fenced that area in to add security. That has been done. Now we have this concrete courtyard that's really of no benefit to anyone. So to make this beneficial, and this will probably more than likely get pushed to next fall, is to turf that courtyard area that you can kind of see the building that's just north of the track, and then there's that courtyard. Turf that area because our weight room is in the Bouvinger building. So if we turf that, we create another all-weather running exercise surface for our athletes and extracurricular kids to use in that courtyard. That courtyard, the reason we can't repave it, it's really busted up concrete. The reason we can't repave it or don't want to repave it is because of all the utilities that exist in it. So if we turf it and we have a utility issue, we simply pull back the turf like carpet, do the work we need to, lay the rock back, put the turf back, and we're still in business with a good running surface there. Top right picture, this is the parking lot addition at Enid High on the west parking lot for faculty parking in good use. They really did a good job turning that around for us. The bottom left picture, this is being brought to you guys tonight actually as an action item. We are going to, with your approval tonight, add a video board at Selby Stadium that is a real video board that will show real video, not just a pre-recorded clip or a face like we have at graduation. The hope is that at this is the real reason. I know football and soccer and all those things are great, but at graduation, think about the possibility of when that kid's walking across the stage that we can have a close-up of their face as they're shaking hands going across the stage on the video board, so that way the parents sitting far away can still experience it as if they were close.
And it'll be able to show replays of football games, things like that.
That's the plan for sure. Bottom 2 pictures of the courtyards I talked about previously. This courtyard is a Coolidge. It will give us a completely secure courtyard with no access to the outside. So think about a pre-K or kindergarten student having access to a turf playground that's truly interior of the building. Same thing is true at the Hoover playground as well. All right, big ticket items is the final page. We have acquired some properties, you guys are aware. This picture that's overshooting the stadium, this is as close as we could get a drone without getting into Vance's airspace, so I'm sorry that it's distanced. But this picture is really of the Kentelly's fruit stand property that we purchased. That is all those buildings have now been cleared except for the barber shop because that is property we do not own. That area has been cleared. We are already in talks about how we could pave that, cost of that, and looking at getting those prices on that area. Like I said, big ticket items. The picture to the right is the Jane's Machine Shop that we acquired as well. Looking at converting that over the next 18 months into an indoor baseball facility. Bottom left corner is our tennis court project. This is going to be one of those combinations of some private and public dollars coming to play. Still might even talk to the city about some of their involvement, but haven't gone there yet, of getting tennis courts that are in close proximity and actually owned by Enid Public Schools rather than the city-owned courts. And then the project on the right just kicked off this last week is the Pacer field or batting cage, indoor batting facility that we have. So there's just a good layout of that for you guys to see. So in summarizing everything, I did provide you guys with a sheet. I'm not going to go through that. I just touched on the highlights of that. But this, in order to maintain our facilities, this price range used to be between $250,000 and $750,000. I've now recalculated that to $500,000 to $1 million a year that our school district needs to set aside for maintaining and improving existing facilities. We have the funds to do that as long as we're smart in all of our other expenditures. And I really truly believe that staying out in front on projects is much better than waiting a 5-10 year term to pass a bond to do things as far as maintenance and preventative maintenance are concerned. This year we are set to spend about $3 million on improvements. A lot of that is federal dollars that are one-time dollars. That's not sustainable by the school district in our current financial situation as we go forward, but currently sitting with our ESSER funds that we have, this is kind of where that money is being placed. One-time expenditures, one-time money, so that way we don't have a funding shortfall once that money runs out here in 2 years. If there's any questions or anything like that, I'll definitely entertain that at this time.
Dr. Robinson, I have a question on the automatic locks on the doors. What if the power goes out to the buildings? What happens to the doors? How are they controlled?
I'm glad Jeff's here because I believe they automatically lock when power goes out. So there's no staying on if there's no power.
And then it has a push bar on it so you can still get out.
Yep.
So
just can't get in.
It's unlocked. Okay, you can't come in.
The automatic locks are really to prevent somebody getting in.
Gotcha. Yep. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
Sam ran through a whole bunch of facilities there, but you can see that even after the completion of our 2016 bond package that was dedicated significant amount of money for facilities improvement, we have continued to improve our facilities even past that, and all of that is significantly beneficial for students not only now but in the long term. So that in and of itself, as Dr. Robinson just mentioned, it takes money to be included in the budget to continue to upkeep your facilities, and if we can continue to budget for that, then our district won't find ourselves in the poor facility shape that it was in years ago and having to hope that we can pass another bond issue. So the 2010 bond issue and then the 2016 bond issue, I know I always say this, but we continue to say thank you to our taxpayers and our community members for stepping forward on both of those bond issues, and that gave us a jump start on continuing to make sure that we have prime facilities for all of our students now and in the future. So appreciate everyone's effort on that. Sam's done a great job in working with Ron and all the other guys in making sure that we can get those projects done in a timely fashion, and a lot of vendors have done a great job as well, and we appreciate them as well. So good stuff. All righty, next topic is for us to provide you guys with a report on the second quarterly report of transfer and capacity. So I'm actually going to take B and D together. So if you'll take a look at those next two handouts at your place, the multicolored one, first it says Enid High at the top, and then the second sheet behind that is EPS enrollment. So you may remember that the legislature put Senate Bill 783 in place that basically expanded the transfer portal opportunity for students, and it significantly expanded it more so than what we've had in the past. So between January 1 and August the 15th of this year, the State Department reports that we've had roughly 11,000 student transfer requests in the state, which is a dramatic increase over previous years. For instance, there were only 391 transfer requests in 2020, and then 1,221 in 2021, and then now we're up to tenfold of that 11,000. So how does that relate to our district, and how do we have to report the capacity and open transfer reports? So this multicolored sheet reflects basically what is on this enrollment sheet, but if you look over to the right-hand side and go all the way down that right-hand column, you will come to some minus numbers there. So look down there at Adams. Over there to the far right, you see kindergarten -5. So the first column that says capacity is what we are shooting for, and the middle column is what we currently have, and so we are 5 over what we would hope for our ideal capacity to be. So kindergarten at Adams has 2 classes, so we would shoot for 20 in each class, but we actually have 23 and 22 in those. So some of this deals with transfers, but some of it deals with once we have agreed to transfers, it also includes move-ins, and that's the reason that those are slightly over. And you can go on through that elementary group there and look at the right-hand side and see where we are. So even though we are shooting for 20, we know that 22 is doable for our elementary schools. Randy, anything to add on those?
No, I think the main thing to understand is we're probably always going to be over our capacity when it compares to the new law, but that new law just allows you, we will always take in district kids, obviously, and we'll find a place for them, but what that basically says with the capacity is we cannot, by law, approve a transfer into the district if it will put us over that capacity. So really, if you look anywhere we have a positive number, and you'll look at Garfield, for instance, they have openings in 2nd grade. So if we had a 2nd grade, a family that wanted to transfer in, they couldn't just pick any site. They would have to accept Garfield, or we could not, by law, accept that transfer into 2nd grade. But any of our own children, obviously, we would go with that capacity.
Mm-hmm. So that's really the reason that the new legislation is requiring districts to advertise their capacity goal, and then so this multicolored information is actually on our website, and to the extent that we can, we want to tie this enrollment information to this, but the enrollment sheet changes almost on a daily basis, and as Veronica said, almost on an hourly basis. So there may be a few numbers slightly different here on this October the 11th enrollment sheet that you have in front of you that is slightly different than this one. But to the extent that we can, we sync those up so that when a parent takes a look at our website, they will see this multicolored capacity sheet, and if they did want to look at transferring their child into our district, they can go down that right-hand column and see where the capacities are available. And as Randy said, sometimes we get parents wanting to transfer their kids in and they want a specific campus. Well, that may or may not be available. We base it on these numbers now. So that suffices to provide or for us to meet the requirement of reporting to you guys quarterly the transfer and capacity information, and we wanted to also tie that in with our total enrollment, which our total enrollment of 7780 is 5 students up from August. So that's good. Always good to see that increasing slightly. Any questions for me, Randy, or Angela on the capacity? All right.
Question.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just help me think this through. Looking at these numbers and the overages in elementary, yes, there's a few that have open spots, but really the overages across the district, I mean, it sounds crazy to say, but we could almost handle an entire another elementary school to handle all these kids to get our class sizes down. Not that that's something that happens overnight, and yes, enrollment can change, but our enrollment is currently down from what we have been in the past. So I'm just looking at all these numbers. I mean, you go through every grade, and you could put another class of 20 for each grade level, right?
You could. I think the thing that we always want to be the school of choice for this area. I think the thing we have to look at is we want our numbers to be up, but with the teacher shortage, we also have to be careful that we don't cause ourselves to have to do that sort of thing, like build a building or add additional teachers. There are some school districts in the metro that actually set their capacity standards at 16 because they know they're going to have those students in and out. And again, by law, that says we can't take you if we don't have, if we don't have the space over 16. So it's just it's something you just have to kind of weigh back and forth. And again, we always try to accommodate all of our families, even our transfer families, the best we can. Our class sizes overall are still very manageable. I mean, if we can keep them around 22 and in the younger grades and 24 in 4th and 5th grade, I feel pretty good about that because we do have kids in and out. We have a few classes, if you look at our enrollment, that are over that, maybe by 1 or 2 students, but we really generally try to not allow that to happen. So.
And again, some of that has to do with having approved transfers under this new rule and then having students move into that geographical area, and so that might put that capacity slightly over. So just suffice it to say that we do monitor that daily and weekly to make sure that we're not overloading one campus or one classroom over the other. So,
okay, thank you.
All righty. Next up, just a reminder that we started today with our EPS flu shot clinic, and appreciate St. Mary's helping us out with that. And that started today and tomorrow next door at SSC. Set those up 7 to 9 and 3 to 5 for employees to come. They don't even have to schedule an appointment. They can just show up. And then next week, on the 26th and 27th, they'll be here, and St. Mary's will be set up here in this room for employees to come 7 to 9 a.m. or 3 to 5 p.m. to get their flu shots. So happy to offer that service to our employees, and we really appreciate St. Mary's helping us out with that. Already talked about the enrollment numbers. Reminder that we are hosting the OSSBA Region 3 School Board Training. That will be held at the Spirit Room at the new gym at the high school Tuesday, November 1st, and 5 to 8 roughly. Definitely starts at 5, and then we might get out a little bit before 8. But right now, as far as we have signed up, is Sam, myself, Matt Lohman, Matt Sampson, Chad Mance. You are going to be out of town, is that right?
I am scheduled at this point to have surgery consult. It starts at 3. I don't know if I'm going to be back in town in time.
Oh, it's out of town, okay. Well, if you decide you want to do that, and you can have her register you, and then it's no big, no, is that, we pay for that? Yeah. So probably better to go ahead and register you, and then if you can't show up, that's fine. That way you're already on there, so. All right, you good? You good to go? Okay, got everybody. So Frank is the only one we still need to check with? All right, very good. So they will register you all, and that's convenient that we don't have to travel anywhere for you all to get your some credit hours. All right, wanted to remind you that our next regular school board meeting in November actually falls on the second Monday, which is November 14th, and that is due to Thanksgiving break, and that was the date that we had on the approved schedule, but just a reminder, it's the second Monday, not the third. United Way campaign for EPS has already begun, and we do that annually, and that's all voluntary for our employees to contribute to that campaign if they wish and help those in greatest need in our community. So we appreciate them doing that, and we have a friendly competition between campuses and departments, and we divvy that up and calculate it by size of campus and department, and then we'll recognize those winners at the November 14th board meeting. So appreciate all the employees participating in that and helping out those in greatest need in our community. New Nambucks is starting a new Teacher of the Month recognition program, and that was scheduled to start in the last Friday of October, but they needed to move that to the first Friday in November. So after this November recognition, and what they plan to do is to recognize one high school teacher, one middle school teacher, and one elementary teacher. And the campuses and Angela and Randy can get together on a criteria for that, and then we will funnel them the information as to who those are. Those teachers then get to come to a new Nambucks meeting and have a free meal and get recognized for their service. So originally it was going to be us in October, and then Chisholm the next month, and then alternate back and forth the rest of the year. But they are going to do both of us on November, the first Friday in November, November 4th, and then our months after that will be December 2nd, February 3rd, and April the 7th. So 3 of our teachers each of those dates. So appreciate New Nambucks doing that, and always nice to honor some teachers for their hard work. Let's see here. Dr. Robinson will talk about this a little bit later in his section when we get to the annual election resolution. So I'll hold off on that. And I believe that's the extent of my superintendent report.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Takes us to item 4, regular business. We'll take item 4A, 1 through 8.
Did you want to pull an item off of that?
Yes, need to make it. We need to actually omit item 7. I'm going to bring that to you guys in April with all of our other.
So we're omitting it completely.
Yeah, okay. And the reason for that is we originally, when we put this agenda together, we thought there was a timing issue that we had to get it done right away, but we found out that that is not the case, so we'll just hold off on that until April.
Okay, then I will take a motion to approve item A 1 through 6 and 8, excluding 7.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Joe, second by Matt. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries. Takes us to item B, discussion and possible action to approve the district financial report for September 2022. Dr. Robinson.
All right, once again, have good news on the finance report. Everything is just money's coming in, money's going out, just like regular. As far as encumbrances go, I'll speak a little bit about that since I haven't done that the last couple of meetings. Encumbrances, I track those kind of, we're creatures of habit in the school district. So our encumbrances are right in line with where they have been the last 2 years in relationship to kind of where we put everything as far as expenditures and payroll. We are a little bit over. If you were to take this document and lay it to last year's October report that I provided, you would see that the encumbrances are just a little bit higher by the actual bonus that, or the additional pay that we issued back in August and September. And so that's the difference in those encumbrances. So when I say that, it means our spending is on track with where it needs to be. Everything's in a really good place. And again, we are getting ready to hit ad valorem season come December. As we all know, we have to pay our property taxes, so revenue will start really creeping up at that point in time. But again, all collections are looking really good, and we did get some good news on revenue possibility that our factor could go up at midterm if all things pan out like they're currently laying. The unknown question is how much growth have all districts in the state seen, because we know we've experienced some growth here from last October, so how's that growth correlating across the state is the big question on overall revenue. But again, finances are in really good shape. I have no concerns with money coming in at this point in time, or money going out for that point.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Matt, second by Joe. Sorry, a second. Joe got you, Randy. Any discussion?
I'll be fast.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries.
You going to
Takes us-
address this sheet on the Selby one, or did you want to say something about this?
No, that was really for the strategic
The facilities?
facilities.
Okay.
Yes, just so it shows that how we're laid out there.
Thank you. Item 4C, discussion and possible action to approve the annual election resolution number 671 for the 2023 school election for board seats 2 and 6. Dr. Robinson.
Okay, this is kind of a unique year. Once again, last year we had 3 positions that we had to have because unexpired term. This year we have 2, which is normal to have 2, but normally in this cycle we only have 1 because we also have an unexpired term that's being filled. So we have 2 offices scheduled for election this year. Office number 2, which is Tori Turnbow, for a full term of 4 years, and office number 6, Randy Long, completing an unexpired term. State law requires us to call for an election and publication of filing information. We will publish this information in our local newspaper and on our internet website. We have incorporated the newly redrawn 2022 board office boundary lines descriptions in the resolution as required by law. So we just need a motion for you guys to approve the resolution, and I'll take care of all the rest with the election board and publication.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Chad.
Second.
I'm going to give the second to Randy. Is there any discussion? My discussion is clearly Randy's ready. He's ready for this. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And the motion carries. Item D, discussion and possible action to approve video reality for the purchase, demo, and installation of a new video board for Selby Stadium to replace the existing digital board, scoreboard, play clocks, and sound system based on submitted proposals from October 5th for a total price not to exceed $242,000. Dr. Robinson?
Okay, we need to give you a little bit of background information on the bid. This is a little different because normally I come to you with a hardline number of $242,000 because of the process. However, we had one bidder on this project. They actually went out of the money that I'd set aside for this, and so that's why I'm giving you a not to exceed price, because since we have one bidder, we're going to ask them to bring that bid price down for us. Jeff is working through that process. I believe he is definitely going to hit the 242 and possibly lower with that, and we're actually going to get more pixels in our video board, if that means anything to anyone, but it's going to be a sharper image is what's really going to happen with it. So that's why it's a not to exceed price of 242. We had based on the one bidder. Just for some background information further on the existing video board, it's hitting 10 years of age. That board and project was about $500,000 when it was put in. I realized that was out of the ground going up new, and so to come in and replace that with a full video board is at 242, and the sound system as well, which we all know there's some sound issues at Selby, should take care of our issues. As I mentioned earlier, the video quality aspect is really what we're shooting for with the many events that we have going on there. We want to give our fans and our students the same experience that we're giving at David Allen at Selby that we currently have. So with that being said, we just need a motion to approve this contract with Video Reality not to exceed $242,000.
What did the initial bid come in at?
It was at 287. So we're looking to shave some of those things off. And there are some good features that are looking to be added, but we'll possibly add those next fiscal year so we can stay within budget to get those done. Biggest thing I think for us with this upgrade is not only are we getting a new video board and the sound system getting enhanced, is that we're going to get some plug and play options on the field for graduation that we all know we have those sound issues, and the hope is, hopefully Jeff's in agreement, that that's going to take care of a lot of our sound problems at graduation. Not to undermine a football game or a soccer game or anything that goes on at Selby, but I think graduation being a culminating event for our graduates, we need to do the very best we can by them for a video board and a sound system for that single event. And so some of that, while you'll never use a plug-and-play system maybe for a football game, having it for graduation and spending those extra dollars on it, to me, is a pretty important deal.
And what's the timing of this project?
Project should be completed before soccer season starts. So I think we've put a March 1 deadline on there, so that way it's ready to go for the first soccer game.
So that's the goal, is to have it for soccer, but if something happens, we'll definitely got to have it for graduation.
Definitely got to have it for graduation. If something was to happen, here's the interesting piece. Had a meeting today at Enid High. We were looking at actually being able to get soccer out to the new soccer fields west of town. That's very unofficial. A lot of other planning has to go into that. So if we were delayed, it could be that soccer is not missing a scoreboard. It's because soccer is being played at another facility. But we want to have everything in place by March 1st, so that way it's up and running and ready to go.
A couple quick questions. I assume I know the answer to this one, but was this a budgeted item?
This has been a budget item, yes, and it was kind of, where do we pull it from? Do we pull it out of building fund or general fund? I think with our surplus that we've seen in the general fund, it's going to be wise to spend it out of the general fund to pay for that.
Yeah, and we've been talking about and planning for that for about 2 years now.
Yeah.
And then the second question is there a software, or is this compatible with all of our other operating systems?
This is going to have the same software, ScoreVision, that we have in the gym. So it'll be a different software than David Allen. David Allen uses a Watchfire version software. This is going to use ScoreVision, which everybody's really happy with in the gym, and I think it has a pretty ease of use from what everybody's telling me.
So does that come with the package, or do we have to get that separate?
Nope, that's part of this pricing. Yes. Yep.
I just have to point out, Jeff was sitting back there watching you answer that question about the software, and you could tell he was a proud father. He was like, yes, he understands the software question. So good job.
Jeff and I have been on the phone.
I'm just proud we didn't have to bring you to the microphone to explain what a pixel is, okay?
Sorry.
No, I am really excited about that project because it'll be a 6A type scoreboard like we need to have. So really excited about that. It's going to benefit kids, going to benefit folks that attend a graduation and all those events too. So like Sam said, it's going to rival the one at David Allen.
So with all that discussion, I will entertain a motion for item D. Randy! Motion by Randy, second by Joe. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Oh.
Did you get the second?
It was Randy and Joe. Yes. And that takes us to item 5, new business. We have no new business that has come. So item 6, reports, items of information, board comments and/or questions. Colonel Miller is not present. Do any board members have any comments, questions? Nope. Takes us right to item 7, next regular board meeting, November 14th at 6 p.m., right here in the Administrative Services Center, Boardroom 500 South Independence. Item 8, discussion and possible action to approve a proposed executive session to discuss the employment of those individuals and/or positions listed on the attached Exhibit A and Exhibit B, possible purchase of appraisal of real property, and pending or possible litigation. Do I have a motion? Motion by Matt, second by Joe. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And the motion carries. We're going to executive session at 6:47 p.m., Mr. Mance.
Yep.
Or 6:48.
Should be very short tonight back there.
I tried. Did you like how I tried to remember the time?
It's good.